Life is complicated. These are trying times. There are many questions that need answering. Want to know what's going to help? Atheism. With atheism, you'll get rid of dogma, superstitions, and toxic thought patterns that are holding you back. You can drive while taking atheism, as well as use heavy machinery. In fact, drinking alcohol, fornicating, and Sunday mornings are far more enjoyable with atheism. However, there are side effects. Some evangelicals and fundamentalists will think you are possessed by the devil. But you don't have to worry, because you know the devil isn't real. Just like God. Wake up to your life. Believe in yourself. Believe in science. Atheism.
Well, hello, and welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. I'll be a son of a... Is it still jicky? It didn't look as bad, though, does it? I worked on it. I did. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Thank you, and welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. I'm your host, the amazing Super Chris. It is Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. The 19th of November. Welcome to the damnation, fellow burners. I hope you're having a great week. We've done a lot of things so far on this channel. We have come a long way and done a lot of growing. I'm still having technical issues. Our new computer engineer, Ollie. Let me turn on the pup cam for you. Is it working? Pup cam. Yeah, I rebuilt the show, right? So certain parts aren't working. And I'm not there yet. Anyway, Ollie is kind of slacking, so we've got problems. It looks like I'm still, if I take off this right here, I bet it'll smooth out. There we go. Yay, look at me. I need to shave. Hi, guys. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you very much for joining me today. Hi. Guess what? We made it to monetization again. Yay, we finally did it. And guess what? Mark is my first member. There's membership. My first member, Mark, made it to be my first member on YouTube. So congratulations, Mark. Thank you all for supporting and showing up and watching. You burners are just the best burners in the whole world. I'll get these messages. Usually it's only from Twitch in our chat, and it'll be like, do you need the best viewers? I'm like, no, I already got the best viewers. You guys are awesome. Let me see what happens here. Is it really me? Is it working? Yeah, it suddenly goes into freak out mode whenever I do that. So let me do this real quick. We'll see. No, it's not the pup slideshow. I don't know what it is, guys. I got up. I streamed last night and tested in private streams. I streamed this morning and tested, and it all worked. And then I streamed for you guys. And anyway, we'll get through. It's okay. Good morning, Amy. Thank you for joining us. Good morning, Chris. Super Chris. How are you doing today? Hey, Wayne Jones. Thank you for joining us this morning. I hope everything's going great in your world. Don't forget to subscribe, wonderful people, if you're not already subscribed. Let me do this to make us a little smoother here, just for fun. I hope you're having a wonderful week. Sorry for the tech gremlins again. I rebuilt the show. I rebuilt it in 1080p, and it works great, except for some reason my top layer makes things jicky. I thought I had it fixed. I blessed it. I prayed over it. I did the Jedi mind trick. I did the Vulcan mind meld. My mind to your CPU. My processor to your memory. And yet... And of course it all worked until I hit the stream button this morning on this show. Good morning, you wonderful people. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're having a great day. What's going on? Let me make sure my sound is going. And I'm checking the random dude. Good morning, everybody. Okay, it looks okay. Yeah, it looks fine. I took the upper layer off. And let me just do this and see if you... Now, does it look fine as we go along? And now it probably is a little bit more jittery, slow, doesn't work right. For some reason, all I've done is added the top layers. So, I don't know. Let me just kind of get rid of that. It didn't matter. Unlock screen. Yes, so thank you all for joining me today. I appreciate you. We made it to monetization. We've made it to subscribers. Life is good. We got a lot to talk about, though. There's a lot going on in our world. We've been talking about Christians and the oppression of Christianity. That's what we've been talking about over the past week. I don't know if you guys knew that was what we were talking about. We started out talking about the slavery in the Bible. Day one. Day two is, do Christians endorse slavery? If not, why not? We never got a good answer. Christians, no, they don't endorse slavery. The Bible says slavery is bad until you actually go to the Bible and look at the Bible, in which on every front it says slavery is good. Jesus himself, Jesus the man, endorses slavery. He's like, I will put my Jesus endorsement right here. Obey thy masters as you would your Lord in heaven. But I never really got any good reason from Christians as to why they don't currently support slavery. But they do, and that's what we covered. They really do. They are literally trying to force their form of slavery on the people of America right now, the Christian nationalists. The example being set currently is that of birth slaves by women. They're trying to make it where a woman can't get birth control, education about birth, an abortion, all these things. And then they can't even leave the state to get an abortion if they need to. They can't get an abortion if they need medical care. This is what they're trying to go for. That is nothing but a form of birth enslavement. The only thing they're avoiding doing is actually removing a woman's right to say no. When they do that, then they outlaw or ban contraceptives, education, and what's to say they wouldn't? There's nothing in the Christian theology to say that they wouldn't do something like that. Heck, already if you're a woman, you know how hard it is to prove a case just in the court of law if you've been essayed by a man. Your word against his never, ever works. I mean, it does tarnish the man's reputation sometimes, but even then, they can go on to do anything, like be president. So, let me check the chat. Let's see what's going on. Not to mention those period trackers, right? Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, Amy Cervantes, for joining us again this morning. Cindy Plaza, hello. How are you doing? Glad to have you. Hope everything's going fantastic in your world. Sorry for the show not kind of looking right. Ollie, the engineer, is dropping the ball. I don't know what the hell's caused my problem. Looks good though. I mean, we were up to 1080p, except for if I had my top layer, boop. For some reason, I just start doing this. And really, the only thing there is like nothing. There's just these little things. I'll figure it out. My friends and fans here, they'll bear with me. We've been through this before, haven't we? We ain't scared. Let me go back to here, though, just to make it more gooder. The most goodest. There we go. So, Ember says, about that right to say no, that's already getting talked up for marital R, at least so far. And that's true. That is true. One of the things that the Abrahamic religions over the centuries have done is turn women into, can I say the word sex? Okay, so that word plus slaves, right? That's what they're doing for women. They've turned them into an entire gender of sex slaves, bondage slaves, personal right there slavery for everything from cooking the food to birthing the children. And anytime the women try to struggle to get their freedom to get out of that, they tighten it. For the past 30, 40, 50 years, women have been doing 100 years. They got the right to vote about 100 years, a little over 100 years ago. Then they got the other rights that they accumulated over the last century. Those are they're already starting to curtail them. We had a peak of freedom. Our freedoms went up and they peaked in the Obama era. And they started going out in the Trump era. Trump started dropping in all his Supreme Court nominees who eventually would take away women's rights, who would eventually, right? So let me catch up here with the chat and say, good morning, Frank O'Donnell. Let me say hello to everybody. Welcome to everybody in the damn nation. We're now streaming on Twitch, Trovo, which I don't even know what Trovo is, but it says, do you want to stream over there? I'm like, sure. Apparently there's a lot of people over there. Hello, Trovo viewers. I appreciate you. And also on YouTube, on the Tube of Views. I very much appreciate you all. The channel has been growing like a weed. We're almost to 2,600 subscribers, on our way to 3,000 subscribers. If you're not a subscriber yet, do the thing at the place, hit the button and subscribe. I do the damn show. Every morning, Monday through Friday, and then also draw up long form content. And guys, guess what? I'm really I've got my Evil God Monster of Abraham series I'm working on. I've also been developing my top 10 reasons why God is more like a pit demon than a good, holy, loving father, or top 10 reasons why Christianity is a blood cult, etc. Those things have been doing really well. My channel has been growing. I appreciate you all. So subscribe to get some of that content. Wonderful people. Simply Secular Dave, how are you doing this morning? Thank you guys, my wonderful, beautiful people in chat, my moderators, for taking care of and engaging with the people. The channel has grown so fast, it's getting to where the chat goes by so fast, I can hardly keep up. Let's see. I see apparently Random Dude is stirring up some stuff. You're being an excellent antagonist. Don't attack. Be nice. Don't call names. unless my moderators call you. If they call you names, you call them back. It's okay. James Apperson, hello. How are you doing? Thank you for joining us this morning. Me and the staff were talking about you, just because this morning. Oh, by the way, I got to do a shout out to the girl for giving a pup cup for the show to help support the show. And she voted for Employee of the Month would be Sadie. So Sadie has got one vote for Employee of the Month. I'm putting that on the board. Sadie has got one pup cup vote for Employee of the Month. One. Okay, so we'll keep track and see who is our Employee of the Month by the end of the month on the show. Remember, we've got Sadie's the camera operator, Bailey's the script supervisor, Jack is lighting, so if I look good in the light, it's Jack's fault. And then, of course, Daisy's sound. Go easy on her. And Ollie, our new computer engineer, who can't seem to get the top layer figured out on the show. Did I forget somebody? Daisy, Sadie, Bailey, Jack, Daisy. Anyway, I got a whole horde of dogs. Good morning. Look at the trees. Thank you for joining us. So I've run it normally, as you know, lately we've been doing this where I run a poll, and I've run a poll here thusly this morning, but my poll wasn't working over on YouTube. I'd put in, the question, and then I put in one answer or option, second option, and then my post button would still be there. I could post. Then I put option 3 and option 4, and then the post button would go gray, and I couldn't post it, and I couldn't delete those options. I couldn't do anything. I'd have to restart. I don't know why it wasn't working. But here's the question. Let me pop this up over here so you beautiful people. I want to see if my sound, I'm also moderating my sound. My Sony cam should be it is all the way up. Okay, perfect. So let's go here, making sure everything. I may go back to jittery as the top layer has once again thusly appeared. I'm going to remove the top layer for my friends. Okay, so we can run a show today. Just bear with me as we don't have my top layer. It's a damn show. Okay, so here's the question. With conservatives controlling the presidency, House, and Senate, which rights do you think they will target next? Okay, so I'm going to share this for you guys. Pull to isn't all right. Now see what the hell? What the hell? Let me go here. Here, under leave of Brutus, and why aren't you share? Maybe I gotta say something. Test. What the hell, man? Oh, this is not all right. So that's the deal. Apparently, there isn't a link that I can find. It hates me and wants me to die. Let's go back. Let's do this. I can do this. Bear with me, people. I'm old, but I know stuff. All right. So anyway, let's move on. So that's the deal, though. Here's the question. With the conservatives controlling the presidency, the Senate, and the House, which rights do you think they'll go for first? Do you think it'll be the women's right to vote? I know people are like, oh, that's crazy. I don't think it'll be the first one. I think it's on the list. I don't think it'll be the first one. That's a biggie. That's a very biggie. It's going to take them a while to get there. What about the rights to divorce? The woman's ability to easily get a divorce from an abusive husband. That was the rights that were given in the 80s, 90s, really not the 70s so much, 80s, 90s, no contest divorce and stuff like that. Do you think they'll go after that sort of thing? And I say the reason why is because oftentimes they harken back and crow about how the sanctity of marriage is important and you shouldn't violate that, and how back in the last century, in the 50s and 60s, life was so great because women, the divorce rate was so low. And of course, we know the divorce rate was so low was because it was hard for women to get a divorce. Women stuck with their men despite everything because they couldn't get jobs that paid money. They couldn't get bank accounts without a man on it. They couldn't get rent a place without a man on it. Blah, 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 blah. They were horribly oppressed. And the Christians are like, oh, this is that's a cause for celebration. And that's why, well, they don't know that's why. They think it was because, there was sanctity in marriage back then, that the sanctity has been lost. No, the sanctity hasn't been lost. The women's ability to not have to put up with shitty men has been gained. Or let me just say that the ability of a man to lock a woman into a marriage and then abuse her for the rest of her life has ended. And that really caused some shockwaves and problems. Disagree, agree? Right? So, good morning, Al Trucker. Thank you for joining us today. Nice to see you. Yes, I'm a big puppy killer. I love dogs, man. Dogs. Simply Secular Dave says, good morning at the damn network. That's me. And says, you big puppy cuddler. I am indeed a puppy. I love dogs. They're my favorite creatures in the whole world. James Apperson says, I wish I had the energy it takes to fuel a personality conductive to growing a channel. I really need to start doing speed or something. I gotta say, it is difficult. I've been learning my limitations recently, and I think I'm kind of getting back to my zen, and I'm gonna focus on what's working. And I've got other things I'm doing. I'm going to hopefully be on the Atheist Experience soon. I have a meeting with them after this show this morning to do a tech and tune where we make sure my equipment works with their equipment. And then they'll get me scheduled in on being a host on one of their shows. So I will be hosting on one of the Atheist Experience shows. They've got 4. And in case you're not subscribed, pop over there and find one of their channels and subscribe. They got the Nonprofits, Truth Wanted, Talk Heathen, and the Atheist Experience. So go check them out. With any luck, shortly I will be hosting over there. I'm going to really though, and I very much appreciate the people over there. They're wonderful. I love their cause. I love their movement. I'd really enjoy getting on with the line. Yeah. I think that's personally geared maybe more towards me, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. If anything, if nothing else, it will be a fantastic learning experience for me. And we've got Scotty. There's Scotty. We've got Scotty. I was going to recommend to Scotty to do the same thing that I've done and approach the ACA, it's the ACA, and say, hey, I'd like to be a host on one of your shows, because he's looking to host and learn how to expand his stuff. And they start out, for people who have little or no experience, they start out at the Nonprofits, pre-recorded, where they give you ahead of time to prepare, and then you meet with other people and do things, and then they work your way up to Talk Heathen, to Truth Wanted, then Talk Heathen, and then Atheist Experience, going based solely on subscriber levels. No judgment on the channel at all. So, I mean, it's a good learning experience. I was going to actually talk to Scotty and recommend that he do that. Well, the chat is moving along. So, again, let me see if I can catch up with any of what you've got going on here in our chat concerning our question about the rights of women. Cindy Plaza says, we may be on a nonprofit show together. Oh, that would be wonderful. If we were, that would be fun. Scotty, there you go. Scott, I just now mentioned this to Scotty right here on the show. We haven't got the chance to talk or nothing. It was just one of the things they've got over there. Whenever you go look at their situation, and they're very plain about it, very wonderful. They've got this just levels. What are you up to? What how can you fit in and learn and work your way into the thing? And they have such a huge network. And it's so many opportunities and so many different things. And they're willing to start somebody who has little to no experience in the waiting pool where you need to be. Right? And that's kind of cool. I don't really have a waiting pool. It's like show up and you're like, throw you to the wolves. Here's all this stuff. But they actually have a process that I myself am going through. So I would absolutely I was going to encourage Scotty to go through it himself. Ember says, I was supposed to be on the ACA show a couple of years ago, but several people dropped several balls. And, there were things happen. I'll tell you, my experience with the ACA was that whenever I first started, I had my show, the Daily Atheist Morning Show. I'd ran it for about a year out of my 8 or 9 months. And I reached out to the ACA and I said, hey, can I host on your show? And they said, man, we appreciate you, but currently everything is done in studio. And we don't do any remote. And then the cooties hit. And their studio shut down. They had to do everything remote. And I never reached back out to them until like 3 weeks ago. So here we are. I don't have to do that. Scotty says, Chris is already trying to get rid of me. Yeah, no, we don't have to. It's not like that. There's the door, jacket. No, it's not like that. But to be honest, let's build something that works. Some things that work. You and I have talked about that. Get practice. This is exactly a group that will give you the practice that you need. Right? And I don't know, for all of you who know, we've been doing a Friday show for the last 3 weeks. It's different. It doesn't work. Doesn't work. Every time we've run the show, I've lost subscribers. My subscribership has gone down every time. We've tried doing like panels where people come on. Knowledgeable, cool people came on. We barely broke 10 viewers. I mean, nobody, it's not what they show up to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. It's not what they show to the damn network for. And I just got to figure out how to do stuff. I've worked very hard to build my channel, and putting the wrong kind of content on that channel will hurt it. I was rocking along. We did a great job last week of doing subscribers. That all ended Friday night. Yeah, Friday night with the live stream. I got a little bit of a boost yesterday, but after Friday's live stream, I lost subscribers. I've only had, over the entire weekend, after Friday's live stream, I've only gained back 10 subscribers. So it really, watching them come and go on the stream. And then, but that's the deal with that kind of show, is there's dozens of that kinds of show out there. You want to go see a panel of people sitting on a show, just sitting and talking for hours and smoking cigarettes and talking, you got that. That's not what people come to this channel for. And I learned that the hard way. So I'm going to rethink something. We will not be, I haven't had the chance to talk to Scotty. We won't be doing a show this Friday night. No, not again until I figure something out. And that's nothing on Scotty. That's not Scotty's fault. That has nothing to do with Scotty. Scotty's fine. It has nothing to do. Man, did you see any of you show up and see the guy that was on the show? Man, he was all knowledgeable. I was like, dude, you're too smart to be on my channel. You need to get out of here. Who let you in here? It was very cool. It was very nice to have knowledgeable, but that's just not what my show was built on. That's not what my channel was built on. And I don't want to split my channel. Not like that. Not for that, Now, I've thought about firing up another channel. It's easy. Just go over and fire up another channel, have a couple of those. It's super easy. But then you got to rebuild that audience and all that. And I don't want to go through that. I don't want to go through it. I'm just, so. Here is a comment from Demolition, from Richard Mack. I don't know why I always stiff on. He says, Chris Mallard, you gain your viewership through being your genuine self. Any change to that, including the damn show? I know. I know, man. I know. That's what the wife says. The wife tells me they don't come to the damn show channel or this channel to see anybody else. They come here to see me and watch me rattle. And then whenever they pop in and they see something that's not me, they're like, I don't want to watch that. So I've even thought about running a show Friday nights just like this right here and doing exactly what I do. I don't feel what's happening so far is working. It's not working for me. I don't like those kind of streams. Whenever I built the Daily Atheist Morning Show a year ago, or 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I specifically said I did not want to have open panel channels. I didn't want everybody and their dog coming in and sitting on my show. It just doesn't work for me. I watched those channels back then do that, and they're still back then doing that with 10 to 20 viewers live. It just doesn't work for me. I want to grow. I don't want to be like that. No offense to them. They be you, right? that's not the me I want to be. So. Random dude is really getting after it in there. I just see a lot of engagement with you. You're the man, random dude. You're the man. Sang-Ji says America is becoming the least free democracy. It's sad to see it. Exactly true. It's becoming an active theocracy. And who are they going after? They're going after the women. That was the first target they went after. They went after the women, like they fired missiles at the women. While it was like they were like fire and forget missiles. Trump fired fire and forget missiles at women's rights whenever he was in office last time. And those fire and forget missiles were the Supreme Court justices that he put in with the intention of getting abortion, knowing that if it worked, it would very much work for him in the future. And it did. Trump sold out America's women for the Christian vote. So, inviting their dogs should be fine. I like that idea. Just have a dog show where we all just talk to their dogs, not to the owners. But as far as those shows go, those shows are wonderful. And I appreciate those people. I'm not saying that that's not I'm just saying that doesn't work for me and my show. It just doesn't work for my viewers. That's not what I've built here. I've spent a lot of time building this. I spent hours and hours this weekend just watching videos on YouTube about how to build a channel and how to do this and how to do that. And I spent hours doing this stuff. I spent hours the other day freaking with this damn thing so it would work whenever we got here. Me and Ollie did, because she's our new computer engineer. You know, it's a lot of work, and I'm not going to do it all and watch it come down and do things to harm it. You know what I mean? That's just not. It doesn't work for me. It's not working for me. There are other options. We can do other things. You know, if there's something we're trying to satiate with that show we're putting on, we can find other ways of doing that rather than destroying my channel to do it. That's kind of what I'm saying. Greg S., how are you doing? Greg S. says, my wife and I had to spring for fertility treatments for the chance at our first abortion. Was that because of something went wrong with it? There's some sort of wrong with the pregnancy that caused you to have to go through an abortion? Speaking to Greg S. I'm just catching up briefly. Hey, Philip Lister, how are you doing? There's lots of panel shows, but really it's just 3 or 4 people talking to each other. Not interesting. It's not interesting. And no, since we're going to talk chat, that sort of thing, I had a guy on the other day with Scotty, and the guy was great. He was very knowledgeable, extremely knowledgeable about whatever the hell they were talking about. But I didn't care. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. We weren't there. Nobody was there to watch that. When people popped into the channel, whenever they saw the damn show was live and they clicked on it, they didn't want to pop in and talk about whatever it was that they were talking about. They didn't want to pop in to see a panel of people sitting there randomly, you know, and I'd put links in. I tried. I don't blame anybody but myself, you know, because that's a thing that works for other people. I just know it doesn't work for me. And my wife has told me that's not why they come here. And to be honest, if you want to be honest, I've done all that for no other reason. I mean, I was already talking about doing my own show in the night, but the reason why I really kicked off all that and was to help Scotty, give him a platform because he asked me to. He asked if he wanted to do stuff with me, and I was like, all right, I was already trying to do this. Let's let you do that. You know, and I put all that effort to try to help Scotty to grow his voice. And I'm just not going to, we're just going to continue to grow and work and learn and try different things, because Scotty's cool and awesome. I have no problem. We have a lot alike, But, one thing, though, I got to say, I'm tempted. I've been thinking about growing a beard. I've got this. This is not a beard. I've been thinking about growing like a real whole kind of beard, not fluffy like those that come out here. I mean, like a Scotty kind of, just to see if I can. We got the striking biking thing. He's got an ambitious beard. So those are kind of things that with the channel, it just hasn't really been working for me. Let me check out with my chat and see what I got going on here. Yeah, apparently there's a lot of women. It's a touchy subject. Christians have this desire to oppress and put their rule on women, and I don't get it. I don't get why they would want to do it to their own women rather than enjoy them as a partner, as an equal. But they do, and they do it all the time. But then when they go off to further employ those dogmas and oppressions on people who are not their wives, who are not their family, in the name of a fetus. Listen, man, if you're worried about stuff like that, why aren't you picketing outside of Catholic churches and trying to get them shut down? Because the amount of money they spend out paying for the child PDF file situation is way more money than they ever give to the poor or spend helping the poor. So they're actually more harmful on society and they hurt actual living children. All the time. They're still doing it right now. They're still doing it all the time. And you're worried about people. I mean, you won't even give the people the notion of what is this conception at conception? See, and you can't get away with that bullshit either, because you're also often against birth control and sexual education. It's about controlling women, and you can't come in here blowing your bullshit and saying it's not about controlling women. It's about Christians trying to impose their bullshit on women. Period. If it weren't, you'd be pro-sex education, so young people would know when is the right time to have intercourse and not have a child. What methods to use to do the things to do that you can do it without. What tools to implement that you can implement to not have a child. But no. We can't talk about none of that. Abstinence is the only thing you've got because that worked so well for Mary. So, let me catch up with the chat. Good morning, Brian. Abortion was a man's idea, not a woman's idea. Why would you say that? I'm just curious. I mean, it's in the Bible. The Bible even gives you instructions on how to have an abortion. You knew that, right? The Bible says there's no life until the first breath. You knew that, right? But you didn't. You don't know these things. You think about there's a baby in there. There's not a baby in there, according to even your own Bible. Really, modern science tells us there's not a baby, there's not a baby, there's not a baby. Oh, it's getting close. Oh, there now's a baby, can't do anything. Now you can't do anything because there's a baby, unless it's really going to hurt the mother, or unless, science has this spectrum and it examines and studies the whether tos and why fors that you need to be doing that sort of thing. You guys, you just want to impress women. At inception. Really? At inception? Like, really? That's when a baby is? No, that's not when a baby is. That's whenever you feel like you have the authority to start controlling a woman's body. Part of the deal is that how do you even know a woman's pregnant at all? Well, with HIPAA, now part of the problem is because women, it does come out. The times when a woman needs to get a late-term abortion, everybody already knows. I said needs, not wants. You don't want to get a late-term abortion just because, today I want to get a late-term abortion. What am I going to do? Go shopping at the gay people store, go try to, hurt all the Christians I can do and sin. Oh, pencil me in for that abortion. It's just not, it's not like that. And that's how they make it out to be. And again, if it weren't for the fact that they continue to try to force their notions on women about no contraception, no education on sex, and all these other things. It's just about controlling women. Pathetic, shitty men controlling women. Let me see here. I'm just catching up with my stuff. I've got, okay, I'm just making sure. Just checking it out. There we go. Live chat. Let me try to catch up with the chat. It is getting faster and faster. I very much appreciate you all. And I appreciate your patience, guys, as I try to keep up with the chat. Nomad said, there should totally be a gay people store. Isn't there? Spencer's. That's funny. I don't care. Yeah, one of the things, though, about what's going on, the Catholic... Left-Handed Jedi says, Catholic priests used to be able to marry, have kids, but it changed. That's one of the things. Whenever you go suppressing... am I jicky? I'm just looking. Let me, I don't want to shut that off. You see me okay? Everything looks good. We're looking good. I'm not getting any alerts. So we really do need gay rights. We've gotten further along. As I mentioned earlier in the show, we had our society was progressing with rights and civil liberties were just going good until just about the middle to the end of the Obama era, the Obama presidency. That's whenever we were doing so good. Trump took office, and then the rights issue began to go down, and it's not going to stop. The missiles he fired during his presidency landed during the Biden presidency, and there was nothing Joe Biden could do about it. Still can't. And now he's getting back in office, and he's fixing to add more missiles to his arsenal to fire at women. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, people say, oh, no, he won't do those things. He won't go after those rights. I doubt it. Let's go back to our poll here just for funsies. And remember, the YouTube website wasn't working this morning, so the poll, I can't really give you links to or anything. But the poll tool isn't working. It says, with conservatives, here's the question again. With conservatives controlling the presidency, I'm going to ask the question, then I'm going to focus on the chat. Guys, it goes by so fast. I'll just read out your answers real quick as we go here. And I'll refresh. Let's see if we have any answers. How many answers we have? Because we know it's coming. We knew it was coming. And, those of us on the left, we tried to warn you. If you're a female on the right, we tried to warn you. And some of them could be happy. with the way things are going, maybe. So let's see here. We don't have a lot of votes on there yet. So, but all right. So the poll tool, with conservatives controlling the presidency, House, and Senate, which rights do you think they'll target next? Women's right to vote, the right to divorce, get divorced easily from abusive husbands, because Christians think divorce is not good and marriage is sanctimonious or something like that. LGBTQ rights to marriage. Are they going to go after those? Or access to contraceptives? Now I'm going to focus on the chat. Tell me how you're right. I could go create an old-timey poll. But anyway, or just let me know. I'm going to watch our chat here, and I'll try to point out whatever I see as long as my attention span manages. Good morning, Peaksville's Anthony Fremont. How are you doing? Let me read this. This is a very interesting post, I think. Dread topic like this one seems to be no way to correctly address it without offending someone. That's true. But the people in this case that's a good point, man. I very much appreciate your post, Peaksville. I'll call you Anthony. No? Peaksville's Anthony. Okay, yeah, Anthony, if I may. Mr. Fremont. And to remind people, it says, dread topics like this one seem to have no way to correctly address it without offending someone. That's the whole deal. The people who get offended by this message need to be offended. They need to start, oh my gosh, he's calling us out for trying to oppress women. Yeah, they need to be offended. Pavel D, says priests and bishops were allowed to marry in the past. They were. You guys got that going on. We've got a Discord server. Hey guys, I'm up for super chats, and we also have memberships. I haven't really learned about setting up the memberships yet. I'll get there, but I appreciate it if you want to go ahead and do. I'm going to try to get the free tier right there so we can have people give away. I'll learn. Matter of fact, Left-Handed Jedi knows about them. I may hit him up, or my other people know about it, or I could just use YouTube to learn about it. So I'm going to be working on that and focusing on that. So thank you all for that. Let me see here. Amy Cervantes says, I think LGBTQ rights because they seem to be the easiest for Christians to rally around. That's a good point. And it wouldn't surprise me. That'd be high on my list. That's one of the things I said they'd go after first. Yeah, myself. Richard Madsen says, all you proposed answers are slippery slope fallacies. Yeah, probably. What are the rights that have been eliminated that lead you to think that those are coming? Roe versus Wade? The right for a woman to seek medical care without a politician getting in her business? Those rights? Is those the ones you're talking about? Because once they dropped Roe versus Wade, then everything fell back to the states, and all the states started enacting all these barbaric rules. You're not saying women didn't lose rights with that example. Richard Madsen. Let me pop back up there. Which rights? Yeah, what rights? I gave you a list. I gave you an example, Richard. The rights to take care of themselves medically. And on top of that, they're not just going after the women. They want to go after the medical professionals who offer medical care to these women. So, which rights? Man, I've really got to fix it. I don't know how to fix this chat, to be honest, or I'd have done it. Hey, bzz. Good morning, Bree. Thank you for joining us today. I'm trying to catch up here. Gifted 5. Hey, you gifted memberships. See, now I have members. I don't know what that means, but I got to go learn what that means. Thank you for doing the thing. You're even here. Stalking like. I appreciate you. Ember was gifted a membership. You're like Oprah out there with the member. I noticed that over on Maya's channel. You were just throwing out the memberships like Oprah. Hellbound Hillbilly was gifted a membership. You guys are fantastic. Yeah, Greg, don't worry. My auto stuff is getting on you, so no worries. I'm still working on that. So I very much appreciate you guys, all of you. Thank you for helping me grow. I apologize. We're still working on getting Ollie, our computer engineer, taken care of. He's having a problem with the top layer on the screen, so I apologize if my show doesn't look as crisp as nice as it usually does. It's all my dog's fault. Okay, here's my answer, my response from Richard Madsen. Okay, Roe versus Wade just made it a states issue, which I mentioned. It dropped it back. Then he says, women may have lost rights in some states. Period. Done. End of argument. Women lost rights. There you go. That answers your first question, brother. That answers your question. Name me some rights. You just admitted it. Now you go on. That depends on the state. So on average, with your definition of rights, women did lose rights. You said that. See, so I read the whole thing. So I did. My eagerness for the end game, Richard. I'm like, damn it. That's all right. Peace and respect to you, brother. But you see my point. Yes, they did lose rights. It's coming. They went after one of the biggest ones that we didn't think they could get. We didn't think they could get that. And there were policies and rights enacted throughout the 80s and 90s that helped protect women from abusive husbands and divorce, right? It's against the Christians. So that, I have no doubt. One of the things I think they'll go for, once they get all fully seated and in power, is going to go for divorce. They're going to go after divorce. They've already got abortion, right? Good morning, Clovis Mo. Thank you for joining us. Eat another piece of cake, slave proletariat. What an interesting way to enter a conversation. You didn't enter the conversation like that, did you? JT, hello. Thank you for joining us. Man, we're getting so many viewers. It's just hard to keep up. So let's see. Sandy, thank you for joining us. Sandy says, I feel sorry for the people growing up now. I'm old. It doesn't matter to me, but this crap is exactly what will finish ruining America. Yeah. Well, I mean, good people, they're protecting women from a divorce. Thank you, Novad, for pointing that. I caught the sarcasm. I caught it this time. Yes, thank you. Yes, so these things are just kind of issues we have to address because they're very real. Whenever you voted, if you were a woman and you voted for that whole conservative thing because of the anti-abortion thing, and you're like, yes, I won that thing. Now there's no abortions. My Jesus loves me. You didn't also think they'd be going after your ability to have your own checking account without a man on it, did you? Because you couldn't have that until like 1972. You couldn't have a checking account. I mean, you could if you were rich enough. You know what I mean? But the average poor woman, you couldn't have a checking account without a man signing on or without, you know what I mean? You didn't know you were signing up for that again, did you? You didn't know you were potentially in the future giving away your right to vote. Did you? Or did you? Chat is going. Rob Cleary. Hey, Robbie, thank you for joining us. Robbie Cleary, thank you for joining us. Robbie says Project 2025, bullshit. Yes, I really, you know. Let me just, I see a good one by Amber. Amber says, Chris, don't forget that many states have already criminalized being trans person within their territory. I want to mention here something. They have gotten it to where there's some far Christians on the right who would, I'm going to do some steps here. Work with me on these steps, okay? Who think that all child PDF files or deviants of that nature concerning children should be terminated. With prejudice, okay? That's what they think. And a lot of people are like, yeah, man, that's right. Those guys are bad. Those suckers are bad. And then what they do is they start including in that what those terms include as to what it means to violate a younger individual. And those things don't normally include, like what they don't just include the things you would think. They also begin to include, because of the way these right people think, any type of medical care or medical counseling or processes or procedures that you give to anybody under the 18 concerning gender affirming care or trans care could be considered a part of that perversion. Do you hear what I'm saying? It's a step-by-step process, but there are those out there who would consider execution for medical professionals who helped women have abortions, regardless of whether those abortions were going to harm the woman or not. That's the me just saying it outright without worrying about YouTube censorship. There are people out there who would do that right now. Looking at you, good Christians. I almost said fascist Christians. JD Delangelo, thank you for joining us. Wow, hey, thank you for a long time no see. It has been a while. I'm back. Things are different. Things are going good. Yeah. Exceptionally average. Thank you for joining us. Lots of people in the chat. Thank you all. I got to tell you, there for a while, we did the 20s and we'd hit 30 every now and then. Then we hit the 30s every day for a few weeks and we'd tap the 40s every now and then. And then we hit the 40s every day for now. And we'd tap the 50s every now and then. Last week and the week before, we hit the 50s on the regular. So we're doing good, guys. We're growing. I very much appreciate you. Does mean the chat's kind of hard to keep up with. So let me peer up here and see what's going on. See if I can see anything good. Me burrito. We currently have, we've got 40 viewers on YouTube and then 5 viewers on other platforms. That's fantastic. Rob Cleary, perversion and deception on the rise. That's true. Hashtag truth. From the right, perversion and deception. From the right, deception. The right-wing party is complete misinformation. And now look at what's going on with Matt Gaetz, the guy who's, I mean, the investigation, all this stuff. Now the right is going to rally behind him because of Trump, and they're going to get all that stuff washed under. And yet what they're trying to hide is the fact that he's had intercourse with underage individuals. Gone so far as to fly them back and forth for that purpose. That's human human sex trafficking. Matt Gaetz did that. And the perversion on the right is trying to cover it up so he can be the lapdog Donald Trump wants in office. What a bunch of fools. I'm going to go top off my coffee cup, people, real quick. I'm going to talk to my tech team here real quick and make sure everybody's on track. I will be right back. Don't go nowhere.
Evangelicals, Christians of every denomination, and believers of every faith have never had a greater champion, not even close, in the White House than you have right now. I think you know that. Jeffers?
Yes.
Prayer?
Let's pray together, may we?
Yes.
Father, I come to you in the name of Jesus.
Have you ever asked God for forgiveness?
Why do I have to, repent? Why do I have to ask for forgiveness?
Skillful and godly wisdom have entered into the heart of our president.
You ask a lot of stupid questions.
I have never seen a more biblical president than I have seen in Donald Trump.
So right now, let every demonic network.
You are the enemy of the people.
Let it be broken. Let it be torn down.
Well, that didn't go well. Sorry about that, guys. I'm
Evangelicals, Christians of every denomination, and believers of every faith have never had a greater champion, not even close, in the White House than you have right now. I think you know that. Jeffers?
Yes.
Prayer?
Let's pray together, may we?
Yes.
Father, I come to you in the name of Jesus.
Have you ever asked God for forgiveness?
Why do I have to, repent? Why do I have to ask for forgiveness?
Skillful and godly wisdom have entered into the heart of our president.
You ask a lot of stupid questions.
I have never seen a more biblical president than I have seen in Donald Trump.
So right now, let every demonic network.
You are the enemy of the people.
Let it be broken. Let it be torn down in the name of Jesus.
Here is the Republican platform.
And if you don't support me, you're going to be so goddamn poor.
If President Trump is not reelected,
Here is the Word of God.
there is going to be a backlash against people of faith like we cannot imagine.
Where do you stand?
I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay?
I watch a man that comes out and fights for righteousness.
I'd like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you. The Pope would have only wished and prayed
Thank you, sir, for uniting our nation and calling us to prayer.
that Donald Trump would have been president.
I think the Pope needs to seek Donald Trump's forgiveness.
He's a pussy. I think God put him there. Get that son of a bitch off the field.
Let the angel of the Lord encamp around about him.
God raised up, I believe, Donald Trump. To say no to President Trump would be saying no to God.
I don't bring God into that picture. I don't.
Romans 13 does give President Trump moral authority to use whatever force necessary.
So much for that. Well, I'm working. I'm trying to make it more good or most goodest. For some reason it's being a jerk. Not sure what it is, but there you go. So one of the reasons why they'll often come to our chat here and they'll start arguing about, well, why do atheists care about God? Why are you spending so much time and effort? Well, I don't care about God. Do you guys care about God? God getting off in your business? No, it doesn't seem to mind my business at all. Really, God. It's God botherers that bother me. It's the ones out there who believe in this God and want to implement its dogmas on us, on everyone else. That's what bothers me. And so they'll often say, why do you spend so much time trying to disprove the Bible? Because if my voice gets out there and I can remove one person, one Christian from that hate faith and pull them away from that, then that person's vote will no longer be going to those people to hurt other people. And oftentimes I kind of get flagged for calling a hate faith. But, the whole purpose of the last show, look at what they're doing. Not all Christians are bad, though. We all know that. Not all of any spectrum of people are bad. Oh, I got a super chat, by the way. Let me go check. I'm new to the super chats. I must say thank you. Somebody gave me a super chat. I was trying to fix the show. All right, giving away. Wow, thank you, Mark. Mark says for $5. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Mark says, by the way, your mug has the right colors, but the wrong team needs a raven on it. No. Mod friends out there, can't you do anything about this guy? Needs a. I gotta be honest. Can I be honest with you, Mark? I'm gonna be honest with you since me and you go back. Here. Hello, McFly. So the movie could happen. There we go. All right, so I drink a lot of this. This really doesn't represent me, though. I really should get me more Star Trek mugs. Ooh, I should add Star Trek mugs to my wish list or something on Amazon. But Star Trek really more represents me than the Vikings. I dig the Vikings. They're cool. They're a middling team, and they always will be. And it doesn't really represent me, But I just got so many of these damn cups, and they're all big and nice and large. You can buy those little cups. I've got a couple of Star Trek cups, and they all come really tiny. I need a man-sized cup. Mark, I threw the wrench at you. I know it's my own fault. It's my own fault. Let me just catch up here on some of the chat. I see you guys are doing a really good job. Exceptionally average. If you will, Richard Madsen is a fan. Go subscribe to his channel. He's got a fantastic channel over there. He's got a very interesting and different perspective, I believe, on Christianity. I hate to put him in a box and describe him in any way because he's there's a lot of crackpots on the internet. I may be one of them. Richard may be indeed one of them as well. But if he is, he knows his shit. Go check it out. I disagree with him, but I dig him. I think he's cool. Until he's wrong, and then I have to tell him he's wrong. Kevin Berger, thank you for joining us. Berger, perhaps? I hope I said that right. Anyone have evidence for the claimed difference between not believing a proposition and believing it's negative? Not arguments, analogies, personal anecdotes, blah, 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 blah. Empirical evidence. Have evidence for the claimed difference between... I think that's kind of goes beyond the scope of the show, but thank you. Carry on with the chat, though. Maybe somebody will answer in the chat. I'm a one-man band here with 5 dogs that help me operate the show, and I kind of really got to keep control of them. You can't see them, though. It's unfortunate. You cannot see my puppy dog. What happened? I'll get it figured out. Let me see here. We've got a lot of new... Giles, nice to see you today. For some reason today, Giles, your name is the one that's in dark blue, and I have to highlight the whole screen to see it. Don't know why. Just thought I'd share that with you. Good morning, Sean Alexander. Nice to see you. I've increased my show stuff, and I really need to get this... Get my Trek in the way so you can see my Trek. Maybe... Remember in the original show, I had my batleth behind me, and it looked like I had... antlers. So, yeah. So, one of the things I want to get back to it and then get your opinions on it. I've tried to catch up. Is that as we're going across this poll, we're talking about how as we go forward in this country and Donald Trump and the politicians on the right continue to implement the worst freaking people for the offices of the government. Like I saw a meme that said Donald Trump nominates asbestos panel for head of the environmental safety department. You know what I mean? Because that's what's going on. But as soon as he gets all those people into place, they're going to start doing all manner of crazy things. I don't know that they're going to go after women's rights so much so. Because, the more I think about it, I think it's going to be more of a martial law kind of everyone all at once kind of thing than a women's rights. And it'll kind of start off with the whole immigration thing. Donald Trump has already said that he is going to, I think I got it right here. Let me just check this out. He's going to do a state of emergency, claim a state of emergency as soon as he gets into office and start going after immigrants. Ooh, look at this. This is all right. So let's go here. I really enjoy this Ground News. I'm an affiliate of Ground News. Oh, wait. Why does my chat disappear? Man, it pisses me off. I got to fix my show. Anyway, Ground News. Trump confirms plans to use military to deport migrants after declaring a national emergency. As soon as he gets into office, Donald Trump is going to declare an emergency and begin just hauling migrants out. They did that back in Germany. I just want to mention, friends, that they didn't start with gas chambers. It ended with gas chambers. They actually had trains. They like to use trains to try to ship them out, and then they use trains to ship them to places. Gas chambers and stuff. Donald Trump has literally talked about using trains to haul them out. And you know what happens eventually, my friends, whenever their efforts don't work? They try every solution they can, then they'll reach their final solution. I mean, man, we have so been through this before, over and over and over again. And I'm going to try something here. Let's see if this doesn't just blow the shit out of the water. Did everything go crazy? All right, let me do this now. Look, it's sort of working. We're getting there. I'm faking it. I'm faking it, but we're getting there. Now, maybe I can even put my dogs over. Can I get my dogs? Où sont mon chien? Où sont mon chien? Où sont mon chien? Où est mon chien? There we go. All right, I'm going to try it. Is it still smooth? Still smooth. All right, let's go here. I don't want to do it this way. This is ugly. This is not the right way of doing it. It's just not right. I'm going to paste reference. Where are my dogs? Show me the dogs. I don't see my dogs. Oh. Boop. Anyway, part of it's back. I'll have to figure that out. I'm not sure why it's not working, but it frustrates me. But we got part of it back. We got our screens back, and the only thing we're missing is our dogs for now. I will beat this computer like a dirty rug after this show. Thank you all for your patience. One of the things I was telling the wife yesterday, to do the live stream, and all of a sudden everything crashed, is that you guys are so wonderful. Y'all were following me from stream to stream to try to keep up and try to get your show in. I very much appreciate that. Y'all were all wonderful. Good morning, Nitty. Thank you for joining us. Nitty says we can't commit war crimes to do this. Let me check this out. Nitty says clearly deportation requires two things: not breaking international human rights and receiving the country to them, take them back. Yeah, there's things. It's more complicated than just putting people on trains. What happens whenever Donald Trump and his group get people on trains that are supposed to go to Venezuela, but when Venezuela refuses them? What does Donald Trump do then? What do they do? How does that work? I don't think it's going to end up being very good at all, myself. Kevin Berger, I hope it's Berger, says, how can we reliably distinguish a person who believes there's an even number of gumballs from someone who lacks belief that there's an odd number of... Yeah, I know. These are the kind of questions we like on our show, gumballs and stuff. Since anyone can express either position. What happens, I tend to see on this channel a lot, is that they come in here and they want us to prove there is no God. They try to put that literal, I mean, it's crazy. You guys have seen it. They're literally trying to heap the burden of proof on us. Prove there is no God. No, it doesn't work that way. You prove there is one. And then we'll talk. Richard Madsen says, it is a little funny for irony that every time you fix something on your stream that it ruins the viewing quality and entertainment thereof. Sometimes there is a bit of an irony. I had the show going pretty well on, up until the other day. And to be honest, here's what happened, Richard, since I know you're wanting to know. I've been running the stream at 720p for a while. But my camera is at 1080p and it compresses it down and then it goes back up and it always made me look grainy and stuff. So I had hardwired my internet. I've got very fast internet now. I'm not on Wi-Fi anymore. So I went ahead and upgraded to 1080p. And you know how you do, you have to realign everything. And it was all working. Everything was fine until the only thing is my top layer. For some reason, it doesn't like my top layer. Everything works. I even moved all the graphics over to here, over to my other layer, and everything works. For some reason, no likey top layer. I don't know. Let's not look top layer gifted the horse in the mouth, though. Yeah, so again, it comes to Trump. He's already talking about deporting immigrants. What do you do when you can't get rid of them? On the campaign trail, Trump literally talked about unaliving immigrants who they had already put out. If they've put them out of the country and they've come back in, then they've proven that there's just no other thing they got to do. They just unalive them. He said that on a campaign stop. That is absolutely 1930s Germany type talk right there. Absolutely. Simply Secular Dave says, I always say, prove that any God that you don't believe in does not exist, and I will prove that your chosen deity also does not exist, using the same criteria. Oh, yeah. I'm just catching part of the chat here. Sang-Ji says, the majority of the universe is dead space and toxic. And I usually see that response as something an atheist says to a Christian who says, well, look at this perfect world that was created for us to live. For us to live, and makes us, the God made it for us. And yet, out of the entirety of the universe, it's so unlivable for us. Even the earth is almost completely unlivable. There's very few ranges or zones where it's really habitable, where if you were not a person who didn't clothe yourself like any other creature or animal on the planet doesn't do, you would not survive. The earth is very not kind. It's not. So this notion, and we see it all the time, though. It's in easy pickings. We see it. We got words for everything. The best words. Kevin Berger says it's not about whether God exists or not, or atheists make a claim about that. It's about the independent claim on human cognition that remains in any context, not just the question of atheism or theism. There you go. Lots of big words. Hello, Jacob. Oh, man, I'm going to do this. I got this, man. I could do this. Jacob Ostapowicz. Man, I hope I said that right. Good morning, Jacob. Thank you for joining us. Nice to have you with us. We're seeing a lot of new faces. Thank you all. We're hitting in the solid 40s and 50s on our show now. Doing great. Nitty says, so it's false for humans, imprecise and incredulity. Finally, a God doesn't require fine-tuning for life. The universe could be constant. And the chat moved. I got you, man. I got you. Well, the whole thing, this notion that God did anything. First of all, man, listen, you got to prove there is a God. Prove there is a God. Start there. The fact that there's a universe does not prove there's a God. It doesn't. Does not. The on the naked face of it, universe being here does not prove a God. Done. Period. But if you could prove a God, then you can't really make that next step to prove that that creator that created the universe actually knows you even exist. Just imagine you are God. Can you explain to me, my friend, you Christian God friend, who is a God, and you're the God of your own body? Can you tell me the moral aspirations and drives of the bacteria in your stomach? Do you care which one of them touches its own reproductive organs? Do you have a problem if one of those bacteria intentionally harms another bacteria? Do you know their names? Do you have a personal relationship with those bacteria? You kind of see where we're going here? I love it when Richard points out all my fallacies. I just stop at the word phallus. Richard ain't even talking to me. I'm just picking on him. Take that, man. I have no idea what Richard says. There you go. Richard is talking to somebody. Get him, Richard. Get him. You guys are wonderful. Thank you all so much. All right, I'm going to go heat up my coffee real quick. We're looking at just past the hour. Now, again, we're talking about, last week we talked about slavery and the oppression of women. Well, was it the oppression of women? Had we gotten that far? Wait. Slave. Yes. Okay. So we talked about the Bible condones slavery. Christians condone slavery. Christians are trying to turn women into birth slaves. This week, we're kind of focused on what other things is this Christian theocracy going to go after? It is a theocracy watch. That's kind of what we have to be on now. We have to be watching out for the theocracy. You can't say it's not real. You just can't. You cannot say with a straight face that the Christians are not trying to overthrow our democracy and impose a Christian theocracy. You can't say that. Don't make me play the 2-minute long commercial where the Christians from the far right are singing their praises of Donald Trump and how he's embracing them. Don't make me do that. I'll hit the button. Don't make me tap the button. Let's see here. I'm not sure what's going on there. Here's the thing about, there's different kinds of atheists. An atheist just doesn't believe in God, period. That guy over there doesn't believe in God. We here, most of us are more like outspoken left-wing atheists, where you don't have to be. You should be an atheist. If you're an atheist, you should be on the left wing. Even if you're a conservative, you should be voting for the liberals. And the reason why is because the Conservative Party has literally sold out to the Christians, to a religious party who's intentionally imposing its dogmas on you, your wife, and your children. If you're an atheist, you should not be voting for the right-wing parties at all for any reason. They've married the Christian church and they're trying to impose. That's what the Supreme Court thing is. The whole thing. Wait, they'll start going after gay marriage, more women's rights, all of those things to impose the Christian theocracy on us. Absolutely. Phantom X11, thank you for joining us, says, I see you're talking about something in the chat. Larry Scar, thank you for joining us. He says somebody doesn't understand Gnostic and agnostic. You're right. I think you're right. Brian Ahava says propaganda. I think you're talking this channel, propaganda. Yeah, I guess so. You could call it propaganda. What do you not see? What do you see Fox News as? Do you see that as propaganda? Do you, can you actually argue any of my points or any of the other points realistically besides going, Christian stuff? I mean, whenever we start pointing out like what's really happening, this is really happening. You might call it propaganda. I guess technically it is propaganda for the left wing. Yeah. But I'm speaking the truth. The Christians really did give their vote to Donald Trump in exchange for women's right to abortion. They did it. And he took it. And he gave them women for their vote. If you're on the right, you should not be, because the right-wing Conservative Party has partnered up with. So yeah, I guess you could call it propaganda, but I'm speaking the truth, which is a little bit different than the right-wing propaganda, which speaks lies and misinformation and disinformation constantly. The American people they're not shitty. They don't hate women. Some of them do, but not on the general. No, they were lied to. The right-wing party spent billions of dollars, not just Trump's fundings, but if you talk about all the money that Fox News and all these other right-wing outlets put in free advertising for Donald Trump, we're talking billions of dollars to lie to the American people about the border situation, about women's rights issues, about all of these things. Donald Trump, Joe Biden had an agreement with conservatives and Democrats on a solution to the border problem, but Donald Trump scuttled it on purpose to hurt the American country so he could add that as a political talking point for his campaign. He hurt America as a political talking point for his campaign. And that doesn't faze you? A brown woman, a black woman, I say brown only because, a person of color, female person of color is more offensive to you than a man who intentionally hurts his own country as a political talking point. Brian says, you're trying to convince me that one side is honest and the other isn't in your experience. That's because you've fallen for the lies on the right. Now, I have to say that we're not all squeaky clean. Nobody's squeaky clean. Sometimes I actually have issues with some people on the right. There's some channels that I like on YouTube, but I think they're a little clickbaity, and I've even said it on this channel. Like, I wouldn't show that on here, but they're clickbaity. There's a Donald Trump, slurs through speech, and then you go watch his speech. He's talking. He's like, I don't know. It's just kind of, and that they consider that a slur, or they really blow out of proportion anything. And I don't like doing that. But they do that on the left and the right. I could agree to that. But on the right, it's just absolute lies and misinformation. Absolute, complete, total, absolute lies. Donald Trump came out and said that people on the left want abortions up to and including the 9th month. He even went on to say that after birth, they will still have abortions. The doctor will take the baby, set it over here, and say, I'll take care of that in a minute. This is what Donald Trump said. That is bullshit. That's a lie. And you're a fucking moron if you believe it. If you want to equate the two, that there's some kind of similar misinformation or lying going on the left, whenever we're going, oh, Donald Trump got up there and he said stupid things. That Donald Trump, whatever he got up there and he said the things about the women having the children, the lady interviewing him or asking him the question said, listen, it's really expensive for childcare. How can you help the American people who are on the poor side, women, single mothers? How could you help them with the costs of childcare if you become president? And they're like, oh, he rambled through an answer. He was incoherent. He didn't talk. And it kind of sounded that way. But go watch it. It was a legitimate long form answer from Donald Trump. His answer is, I'm going to tax other countries, tariffs other countries, and we're going to use that money to help help those women pay for that. That was his answer. If you go watch it, that's literally what he talks. It's a little rambly, just a little, but damn, the dude's 80, I'm not trying to brainwash Donald Trump. I'm just saying there are people out there that kind of thing is nothing. Whenever we talk about, oh, look how Donald Trump rambles and he's all wrong and all that. That's tiny compared to what Donald Trump literally does. Let me catch up here briefly. You're all corrupt. See? You've fallen for the things they say on the right. On the right, they just come out with these complete lies. You saw what we said, the comparison. We say, oh, look, Donald Trump's a little mentally demented. And he may be, but we often say and kind of try to claim that he's further along than he really probably is. Because it works with our rhetoric. Donald Trump is coming out and literally saying people on the left are having 9-month abortions and post-birth abortions. Those two things are not the same. And you can call us, you just expose how stupid you are if you're going to call us corrupt. You can't argue with the things I just said. They're public knowledge. Go out and find that out for yourself. No. And you can't argue that whenever I say Donald Trump is coming after women, you're like, oh, that's lies, that's information. He already did. He literally did. He fired those missiles during his last campaign or during his last presidency. Those missiles landed in the Supreme Court during Joe Biden's campaign. There was nothing he could do about it, and he's ready to fire more as soon as he gets into office. As soon as he gets into office, he's going to claim a state of emergency and bring in the military. He has said that. Hey, Theoretically, how are you doing this morning? Nice to have you. Hey, guess what? Chris Melendez is here. Nice to have you, Chris. Is this my show? Is just me ranting? Yeah, it's just pretty much me ranting. I have other things I show. What is your show about? Chris? Let me see Chris's what's your show about? How many live viewers you have? Maybe you should either shut up or piss off. Yeah, it's my show. Not everybody who asks that question, though, is hostile. So, Chris, you may not be meaning that in a hostile way. A lot of people don't even know we're actually live until I call them out in the chat. Oh, shit, he's really there. Yeah, sometimes I can understand why those other channels that run the live stream is 24 hours. So, good morning, Chris. Thank you for joining us. Yes, it's pretty much just me. It's my voice talking about the things I see, spreading I do occasionally have guests. I don't have guests. I never have guests. Tried it. It sucks. But yeah, that's it. Let me catch up and see if Chris actually he may not have even been here. Mark, I'm going to try to say this, man. Mark Hunnert. Man, I hope I said that right. You're right. They literally admitted that the Springfield story was bogus. They got a whole bunch of people into a panic. They villainized a whole community of people, and they knew it was all a lie all at the same time. And then Trump got out there and screamed, "They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats." How? And you fell for it. You fell for it to come in here and say things like you say. Oh, I see lies on both sides. Really? Give us a comparison. Show us. Compare us to how the left does what you're talking about. It's not even close. It's not even close. It's just stupid and ridiculous how much the right-wing people, lies and obfuscation is now their signature move. Projection is their signature move. If they come out and they say something like, oh, that person's doing something, start investigating them because they're doing it. If they make an accusation, it's an admittance of guilt. Theoretically, let me just catch up with everybody here in the chat if I can. Sandy says, I don't think anyone here is stupid enough to think we'd be able to make you look in the mirror and see yourself as we do, Brian. Yeah. There's some people in the world, my friends. I got to tell you, my friends, there's some people in the world who do not have the part of the brain that squeezes out shame juice. They just don't have it. Or if they do, it's misaligned and it's been abused in different ways, probably by religion. And their shame juice, they'll come in here and they'll say the stupidest of things, make the stupidest of claims. The whole idea of cognitive dissonance they don't get that, you know? It boggles the mind. Giles says Trump has ruined every business he's owned. That's right. You know what is Trump when's he gonna start up another charity in New York? Oh wait, that's right. He and his children can't run a charity in New York. Well, maybe he'll go buy himself a gun. Oh wait, felons can't own guns. That's okay. Maybe he'll get himself a job at Wells Fargo. Oh wait. People with 34 felonies can't work at Wells Fargo. Donald Trump has set a lot of benchmarks, hasn't he, my friends? I said I was going to go get coffee, but that was a lie straight from the devil. I will be...
Are you feeling the world is leaving you behind? Do you look at all the pseudoscience, rumors, and wild speculation on the internet and wonder, why can't I do that? Well, friend, you can. We can help you. We are Conspirowin. Conspirowin has a long history of helping anyone with a hidden truth. We will get your message out. The conspiracy theories you see today all started out with one person's vision. The moon landing hoax was launched by a NASA engineer whose manager didn't okay his vacation request. Conspirowin was there to help out. Christianity started out because one little girl named Mary got pregnant out of wedlock, and Conspirowin saved the day. Now, the virgin birth is accepted Catholic doctrine. You may be thinking, but my idea of the center of the earth being made of ice is far-fetched. No one's going to believe that. In a world where people believe windmills cause cancer, we say no dream is too big. Conspirowin will take your fledgling idea and feed it to our YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok operatives. And these savvy social media professionals will raise doubts with the prevailing scientific consensus. They will say, no one has ever seen the planet's core except Jesus. And science is wrong all the time. That's why science has theories and not Jesus. Within 30 days, we guarantee you CNN will run a story on how your conspiracy theory isn't true. We will also give you 100% assurance Fox News will say your crazy idea about the Earth's core being an icy ball is true. Follow your heart. Listen to the voices no one else can hear. Team up with Conspirowin.
All right, so I see we have, let's see, Arthur ZV in the chat. Let's see if that's the only thing you say. I sneezed, dude, but I'm okay. Did y'all bless me? You blessed me? Okay, good. Arthur says, I think he's talking to me. I hope he's talking to me. Otherwise, I'm just butting into somebody else's conversation. Arthur says, Would you like to debate via Discord, voice, other form of voice with me? I'm a Christian right-wing graduate, but I'm a polite manner without offending ourselves. I'd love if you're willing. I appreciate the offer. No. I mean, if you, no. Appreciate you. Thank you. It's one of those deals where, I mean, if you have like a following and we're going to do it publicly and we're going to get some name, you got a church with, a bunch of viewers, and we're going to do this live in front of a bunch of people. I mean, make it worth my while, help me grow my channel. Help me, help you grow your channel. If you're going to, do something just for me to sit for an hour to debate with you on Discord. Not going to happen. I got so much shit to do right now. I don't get my own shit done. Pardon my French. I wonder why people say that. French people don't cuss that much, do they? Anyway, so I appreciate you, Arthur ZV, and I thank you for viewing. And I'm all about, if you're talking to somebody else, we actually have a Discord chat, and you're welcome, a Discord channel. You're welcome to join my Discord. The link has been popping in there. Somebody else will pop it for you. And you're welcome to join our Discord and discuss these issues with other people and debate with other people. There's even, I think, a voice area where we could probably debate. If they're not, we might get one. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of my feelings on it. Appreciate you, though. JT, I see you there. Thank you for joining us. JT Bustello Maserati, thank you for joining us. Nice to have you today. Just kind of catching up. Simply Secular Dave. Oh, I see. You've got lots of conversation going on there, my brother. All right. So let me go back and check our little poll. Again, this morning, the polls weren't working on YouTube. So bear with me. Let me see if I can get this up. So I just did the regular scratchy one. Thank you, Edison Lynn, for subscribing. Much appreciated. Glad to have you along. Welcome to the damnation. Pardon. Let's see here. I got the burpees. Okay, so I'm going to refresh the page here. With conservatives controlling the presidency, House, and Senate, which rights do you think they'll go after next? Women's right to vote, the women's right to no-fault divorce, to be able to get out of abusive relationships, because it's the sanctity of marriage and that sort of thing. LGBTQ plus marriage rights, or access to contraceptions. What do you guys think? Rational Satanist says the right to watch porn. That's a very good point. They're already after that right. I think there's a couple of, is it Nevada where they've blocked porn sites and stuff? So that's a thing. They got it now. Oh, there's some sort of, I see there's some sort of questioning going on, I guess, considering Kamala's race. Are we talking about that? Is that what we're talking about? Brian Ahava, I hope I say your name right, Brian, says, Simply Secular Dave, you're right. You're smart. I don't understand smart people. You should have just stopped at the word understand. Maybe put that on a hat. I don't understand. Get it on a hat, maybe a shirt. Well, rational Satanist, I don't really know how to, I don't know how you mean this, you can mean this in a bad way, or despite the nature of the words, you could actually mean this in a good way. I want to repeat these here. Rational Satanist says, I wish Kamala did OnlyFans. Now, at first blush, that could be an insult. But to be honest, maybe he has a thing for, that type of woman. And I mean, it's like Barack Obama. Damn, he's a sexy man. He could fire up an OnlyFans. I think he'd float a lot of money off his OnlyFans. So it's not, I don't know how you mean that. I'm not going to assume you mean the worst. Hey, baby, it's clean enough. You ain't got to clean it no more. It's clean. It's clean. That's right. Come here. You want to say hi to everybody? All right, everybody. Here's Daisy. our sound technician, Daisy. Say hi to Daisy. She is our sound operator. She usually just shows up whenever I'm getting all wired up and yelling and stuff, but she showed up to say hi this morning and lick her cooch over on the couch. I guess she's cleaning it or something. I know. Some sort of maintenance. I'll get down there. Puppy cam isn't working, so sorry about that. I'd show you all the puppy cam, but it's not working. I'll get it fixed, though. So say hi to Daisy. Oh, so far, we've got one vote this month for Sadie for the Employee of the Month. If you want to vote for Employee of the Month, go and do a pup cup thing, coffee. Go to the Buy Me a Coffee thing and vote. If you buy me a coffee, I think is the way I should put it. Don't buy me a coffee, buy a pup cup and vote for your favorite dog. So far, we have one vote for Sadie from the girl. Okay, back on track here. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, so there's really it's kind of a tough. I don't know how you meant that, brother. I'll just let you pass, and we'll just see how it goes on. Brian says men want to see women that way. I think that's a human nature thing. Exceptionally average says Brian, not religious clergy. Women are too old for them. That's hilarious. Oh, we've got another post. Mark Hanauer. Oh, Honart says, they definitely got the claws out and fangs out for our gay and trans brothers and sisters the most. That's true. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's a good vote. Good vote. They're definitely going to go after the gay and trans rights. Absolutely. Very interesting. We've got some other... Let me share the screen here. This individual here, sorry, you don't have a name there, says, I'd say LGBTQ marriage and contraceptives. Yep. Gay marriage, most likely. Probably gay marriage first. It just depends. I kind of think it's going to be that. I think they're going to go hard and heavy into immigration and go after the immigrants. And the reason why I think that's because by doing that first, that gives them the opportunity to implement like a bastardization of martial law as they go through. And once they do that, then they can just chip away at all the rights they want. And they've got the full house, they've got the presidency, the House, and the Senate. So I don't really know where it stops from there. I want to try this. The Is Throw Show. Hello, The Is Throw Show. Thank you for joining us. I'm the amazing Super Chris here on Daily Atheist Morning Show. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. The Is Throw Show says, baby, want to debate me. Did I put like a... Is there like a sign somewhere that says I want to debate people? Maybe y'all are talking about something else. Do you have a platform? You want to debate, or do you just want to sit two guys in a room debating? No, I'm not going to do that. If you got a platform, if you're a preacher at a big church and we're going to do it big on the live screen in front of your viewers, I would love that. But if you're just Joe Blow sitting in your mother's basement talking about Jesus and how right-wing doesn't oppress women, let's go vote to have birth slaves. If that's your kind of mentality, I ain't got time for you. So appreciate you. Thank you. No. I don't know what's going on over there, Bustelo. You just need to keep it down over, man. You got some... Keep your tongue in your mouth, man. Oh, yeah, I want to play something for you guys. All right. So let's talk about these Catholic individuals. Let's go here. I've got something for you, my friends. I like, doing this content here. Let's go here. And I'm going to go here. Boop, 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 boop. Boop 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 boop. The wife asked me not to sing on the stream, so I can do the Mario though. All right, are you gonna go full screen, or are you not gonna go full? Do the full Monty. Full Monty? Don't you? That's not the full Monty. It's not the full Monty we're looking for. I don't know why it's doing this. Don't make me come over there. All right. Okay, so I've got a video, guys. As you know, we've been talking about various different things. This week I created a new video concerning the Catholic Church's anime outreach to children. I don't know if you know this or not, but the Catholic Church has constructed an anime character and a line of characters as a method of reaching out and bringing new young members into their church. Let me share with you this. A long time ago, I created an audio. Oh, this is also for those of you who've been fans of the show for a while and have often threatened to do the Father Flanagan's line of inflatable altar boys. Well, I did it. I finally did it. I finally made the little commercial, the Father Flanagan's line of inflatable altar boys. And it's coming at the end of this video. So if you haven't seen it, I'm going to let you guys watch this video. It's about 5 minutes long. And at the end of it, you'll get to see the commercial for Father Flanagan's line of inflatable altar boys. Show soundtrack for a commercial called the Father Flanagan's line of inflatable altar boys. Now, it was just a parody commercial. You've seen parody commercials we have on my show. I have not remade that, even though it's hilarious in my mind, because it's a little dark. It's insensitive to victims, right? So we don't do that. But I did tinker with the idea of creating a video collage and going ahead and releasing it as a comedy anti-religious, because you don't want people to forget about the horrors that the Catholic Church has done to children, right? And sometimes by making light, we shine a light. Okay, so we've got all those things. So I was really debating in my brain, do I do that? Do I not do that? Father Flanagan's line of inflatable altar boys coming to a Walmart near you. So as I was tinkering with the idea, I went through and I was looking for images and I could not find anything. I mean, it was just, when you go and you try to find an image for something like that, you can't. It's just not really. And then the Catholic Church released their own anime character. It's a woman, girl character, Lucy. So this is Lucy, the new Catholic mascot. I want you people who are watching this to look at this and ask yourself, what is wrong with this picture? It's the Catholic Church. And you notice most of them are girls. Which one's a boy? The girls are very well dressed. They're covered up. They've got, even going so far as having hoodies that are pulled up so you can't see all of their hair. I just now realized that. And yet the boy, almost naked except for a diaper. And he's flying and kind of looking back like bend and wink going, how can they be so unaware? So I went and looked and found there's got to be another little boy, right, to represent. There's another little boy. He too is a cherub. He's not wearing underwear though. He just has a little blue towel looking thing. How can they be so unaware and release this? Well, I don't know, but I'm going to light them up. The only boy is mostly nude. All the girls are covered up completely, including their hair. This is the new Catholic thing. So I didn't really even have to, whenever I went to get graphics for the Father Flanagan's line of inflatable altar boys, all I had to do was wait. And the Catholic Church did it for me. Look at the forced immodesty. At the oppression of women right here in their own cartoon. Not a single one of them. They're not showing their shoulders. No tank tops for these girls. No. You can't even tell what kind of clothes they're wearing, what kind of pants they're wearing, whether they're wearing a skirt. The one is clearly, let's go back to it. The one is clearly wearing some kind of like shorts or leggings, pants. Looks like maybe blue jeans or something. This one's got a Band-Aid on that, so it's clearly like you wouldn't have a Band-Aid on clothes. So that's her bare knee. Is she wearing pants or short, etc.? Tough to say. Their hair is covered. It's the oppression of women. Right there in front of us. The oppression, of course, it's not only the oppression of women, but also the Catholic Church really should at this point have a self-awareness about what the hell is going on. I mean, you don't do that. You don't get hundreds of thousands of cases of children being essayed by these PDF files and then put out this kind of crap. And what is this for? What is this for? Is this the Catholic Church's attempt to reach out to adults? Or is this the Catholic Church's attempt to reach out to children? Let's just stop and think about that for a moment. The largest organized PDF file organization on the planet has recently released this, which demonstrates their continued oppression of women. All of the girls, which is there's many of them, they're all clothed head to toe, including, again, covering their hair. And the only boy, all right, Catholic people, there's a whole altar boy thing, Catholic priests, and you go put on your new thing, a mostly naked small boy. How unself-aware or ridiculously moronic could you possibly be?
Is your humble parish tired of constant litigation, drained by bloodthirsty lawyers sucking the collection plate dry? Well, finally, no more threats of jail time and public humiliation. Try Father Flanagan's line of inflatable altar boys. Cute little fellas, eyes and mouth wide with surprise, complete with lifelike tears. Father Flanagan's line of inflatable altar boys, coming to a Walmart near you.
How can they be so unaware and release this? Ha! So you finally got to see Father Flanagan's line of inflatable altar boys. What do you think? Is that cool? I'm funny son of a bitch. Let's see here. You guys are apparently got some interesting conversation going on in the chat. Brian and Bustello and Greg and Simply Secular Dave, you're all great. Listen, the chat gets going so fast, man. I can't keep up with it. I'm sorry. I sometimes I try, Brian. I can't. I know you're an antagonist. I know you're trying to argue and debate with what's going on here. As long as you don't call people names and attack them personally and start threatening them with violence or hell, I don't care if you tell people you're going to hell, but my mods sometimes consider that a threat, right? So just don't threaten people or call names. And most of the time, I mean, now, mods, it should go the same. Mods shouldn't, personally threaten people or call them names. But sometimes we do. And if a mod says you're stupid, you can call them stupid back. I said so. Let's play fair. But be chill, we appreciate different views. But sometimes just coming in and we do get people who come in and just spam, Are you willing to learn anything? Are you willing to... Now, I got to be honest, man. You're like, host, you're not willing to learn anything. Dude, I'm doing a whole bunch of things. I just can't focus on what you got going on. But some of the people in the chat are willing to learn. We have a Discord channel where you can go and debate and argue things. It's just as long as you don't start insulting, insulting. We can do that. Threatening. Threatening is the thing where we draw the line. If you say something about, like, my family, you're out. I don't give a damn. There have been people who've come along and said some really ugly things, which proves their good Christian nature. So yeah, just be cool, be chill, you'll be all right. Macaulay Tucker says, will you be getting back to the Facebook message? Maybe, Macaulay. I briefly saw your message. I do get busy. What I did want to point out was I kind of noticed as I read your message that you come in, it's something along the lines of, well, you don't like it when Christians are aggressive, but you're aggressive. And my answer to that is essentially that we're being oppressed. We have Christians trying to overthrow us right now and oppress us. Yes, I'm going to be aggressive. Absolutely. But I'll get back to your message, maybe. Again, I got a lot of things, yeah, I'll get back to it. It might be brief, but appreciate you. You asked me a question and I answered your question. You didn't ask me if I wanted to become a lifetime pen pal and engage you in a form of long-form debate via text message and chat. You asked me a question and I answered your question. You have a rebuttal and that's great. I may or may not get to that rebuttal. But I did say in my first message that this is not the tolerant left. And whenever I refer to Christians, what I'm talking about being little demons is I'm talking about this. I do this. I make a video and you can go look at them. Go look at the video. I say, look here in the Bible. It says this. And they get in my comments. They go, you're a liar. You're wrong. You're stupid. You saw. I believe you commented on the video where the pastor, if you didn't, I'll show you the video, where the pastor, self-proclaimed pastor says, debates none of my points, none of my arguments. Whenever I say that Abraham, or Abram, for example, gave his wife, Sarah, to the Pharaoh, as his sister and she gave him an STD, what kind of moral example is that? And then they lied about it. And it turns out she wasn't just his wife. She was his sister. And you go read the text over here. And he even admits right here in chapter 20, Genesis chapter 20, that she is his sister. And that's what I'm pointing out, how horrific this text is. And you go look at my chat. Oh, you're stupid. You're a liar. Blah, 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 blah. That's what I'm talking about. I point out facts and reason, and they attack me. So that's what I'm talking about. If that absolves me of having to respond to you, then fine. But this notion that we should be oppressed and not be vocal about our struggle, that shit don't fly with me. And I noticed that, well, guys, I kind of got that briefness about your chat, about your message. I remember reading it a couple of days ago. I remember scanning it. Man, I don't mean to be rude about that stuff. I was just like, oh yeah, he responded. Oh yeah, he's going to try to make me feel bad about how I address Christians because I don't. Yeah, I get it. I'm moving on. That's how I treated it. You know, apologies. Yeah, because again, I did answer your question. You asked me a legitimate question in a chat. I didn't have to answer you. I have an auto chat. As a matter of fact, here's what happened. You sent me a question. My auto chat responded. I don't even normally check that. I just happened to pop it open one day and I was like, oh, hey, look, somebody sent me a message. Even friends like, on here, Amy Cervantes sent me a message. I didn't answer for days because I don't check that. But you, what did you do? You're like, oh, you don't want to answer? Well, let me presume what your answer is going to be. And then you presumed in your response. I can go pull that up if you'd like me to do that. I wasn't planning on doing that this morning, but I don't really particularly, yeah, I'll just do that real quick for fun. Let me go here to chats. Bear with me, man. I don't go there that often. Come on, internet. You'd almost think I'm doing some kind of live stream or some business. Ooh. I want to try this. I see a new name in the chat. Zing Fu Ku Sheng Religion Destroyer. Welcome to the channel. Thank you. I hope you're subscribed. Don't forget to subscribe. Join us on there. I'd like to talk about ancient aliens. I think that's an interesting subject one of these days, Giles. Nice to see that. Yep. Let's see here. There we go. Come on, internet. Okay, messages. Sorry, it took me a while. Macaulay. Let's see here. Boom, ba-dum, boom. Can I get a big screen or something? Get this out of the way. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, it's like a big book of stuff here. So I didn't have to, as I was honest, I didn't read it all. You refer to Christians as little demons based on how they respond to your videos with hostility and name calling. However, this seems to be contradictory to your stated stance against hateful or derogatory behavior. So now you're trying to use my words and try to control how I act. I ain't going to play that shit. Your religion is actively oppressing our people. And I'm not going to take the whole tolerant left thing. I'm just not going to be tolerant left. And I told you that in my original message. And here was your original message. I'm going to read this out for the peeps so we can all see what's going on. Sorry, peeps. I'm not really, like I said, it's muy small though, right? So there's this thing. Basically, I realize it may not be the most logical question to ask someone who doesn't believe in a creator, but I wanted to ask anyhow. How would you recommend that someone who doesn't believe in a creator, or who does believe in a creator like myself, engage in meaningful conversations with those who don't share that belief? That's the question. I understand they may not believe in the very thing I'm trying to discuss, but I really appreciate talking with people. So, all right, so my response. Now, first of all, I didn't respond. Hi, thank you for contacting us. We've received your message and appreciate you reaching out. That's an automated message. I hope you people can hear me, right? You can hear me? Let me just look here. Boop, boop. Yep, you can hear me. Okay. So now, I didn't respond soon enough. So he says, though, stepping in your shoes to answer my question, one response you could probably say is nothing. I don't believe in your beliefs, so I have nothing to recommend you. All right. So he's just taking my position now. You're speaking for me just because I didn't respond quick enough. You know, it's like you haven't answered me fast enough. Okay. So then let's go back to it. I did see that. That's kind of how I felt about it. And then let me get here to my response. Am I sharing? Okay, so you can see the screen. Hi there, Macaulay. I see you got the auto response. Sorry. How to engage in a meaningful conversation with someone who doesn't share your belief? I rephrased the question so you knew that I was answering your question. In my opinion, for what it's worth, the best way is to be honest about your intent. Hi there, my name is X, and I believe X, and I would like to honestly visit with you about your beliefs. That sounds like a good start. The problem with atheists, the problem we atheists experience too often is hostility. I try to use my emotional intelligence to determine the sincerity and intent of the person with whom I'm engaging in conversation debate. I can tell rather quickly if an individual genuinely wants to learn, teach, and discuss, or if they just want to argue. But I can only speak for myself. There are other atheists out there who will snap when confronted by a Christian, as often the questions are gilded with hostility. Gilded with hostility. Let me go back up. Let me know. All right, so then atheists are often described as hostile by theists, but in reality, it's the theists who have oppressed and persecuted atheists for, well, I guess forever. Non-believers are slaughtered throughout the Bible and right up to the end of the last couple of 100 years. Even then, atheists, non-Christians, or non-believers in general have been oppressed in our country. Christians are not now nor have ever been oppressed in the United States. The Bibles in schools issue is a good one to use. Atheists don't want Bibles in schools, but Christians do. So does that mean atheists are forcing our will on Christians by not allowing them to put Bibles in schools and teach that the Ten Commandments is the moral authority? No, it's not. And it's not just atheists. It's anyone who's not a Christian. And indeed, so I go on. I really believe I answered your question quite thoroughly. I don't believe, Macaulay, I don't believe I signed on to a lifelong relationship, nor do I believe that I agreed to be a pen pal with you. I answered your question. Okay. And now again, here you go with your responses to immediately question me for how I respond to Christians who attack me. So I'm just supposed to lay there and take it. Right? Is that where we're going with this? The tolerant left. What happened to the tolerant left? The tolerant left stopped being tolerant. We started punching Nazis and fascists. And oddly, the Christian right wing are tied up with Nazis and fascists right now. It's a marriage made in hell right now in America, trying to overthrow our government and impose Christian right wing theologies upon our country. So I did answer your question. I gave you an answer. You didn't actually follow that advice, but I gave you the answer. Let me go back to here, and here. Check and see what else we got going on. Just catching up here on the channel. Thank you very much. I know it doesn't. There we go. All right. Yeah, thank you, Hive Side. Bree says the left is no longer tolerant. Get used to it. I'm about to get meaner, gayer than you can handle, friends. I know. Hey, you know, and let me just say here, Macaulay, if you're still watching, I can get aggressive when attacked. And you may not be attacking me. That may not be how you see it. But whenever you start asking somebody who is under attack, why are you struggling? How can you justify struggling the way you're struggling? That kind of gets you a lashed out response. You know what I mean? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Because yeah, my daughter is considering leaving the country because of the oppressive nature in which our government is going just against women. And how many other women are doing it? I mean, we're considering doing it. I'd leave if I could. Hell yeah. I'd sell my dog. Where'd they go? I promise I didn't sell them. You know, I mean, yeah, we as far as this whole, we're supposed to just allow them to impose their will on us. And I appreciate you. Again, Macaulay, I do appreciate you reaching out to me. But I get a lot of people who want to debate me. And they come in the chat, they're like, hey, I want to debate me. If you want to debate me, that's different. If you'd care to debate me, do you have like a church that you're willing to debate me in front of? An audience? Do you have something like that? Or are you just somebody? And I'm not trying to be a jerk. We go through this kind of often. Every Tom, Dork, and Harry pops up in the chat and they're like, debate me. I'm like, well, who are you? Why should I debate you? For what reason? Just so you can argue at me over the live stream from your mom's basement? No, thank you, no. Chrissy don't play that, you know. I'm up for debates. If you've got it's like Pastor Dean. I haven't seen Pastor Dean in a while, and I gotta say, unless he's coming in under a different name like Brian, I don't know though. Brian kind of has a Pastor Dean feel about him, but Brian uses commas and grammar. So I don't really, I can usually spot Pastor Dean by his lack of grammar. I don't know. Okay, so Macaulay Tucker says, I appreciate your kind words. I hope that's sarcasm. I mean, maybe you're not being sarcasm. Maybe I said some kind words. Sometimes I get too aggressive, so maybe that's what y'all hear. And he says, I guess my question is, where is the hostility in responding to an answer with clarification? See, that's the whole thing. The point was, and I could be wrong. Again, I didn't read your whole thing. I just kind of got to the first part of it, and I was like, you're going to question... Because I condemn them for being that way. Do you see me doing what they do? Hold on, let me pull this video up. You don't. You don't see me doing what these Christians do. Absolutely, you do not. No. Let me see if this is the right one here. Okay, I'm going to make you endure this.
The video describing Christians as little demons who don't argue my points about their hate faith, but rather just attack me, spitting their vile hate at the...
We have to do this every time for some reason. Oh, there it goes. Okay, good.
Truths I expose. Well...
Okay, I'm going to back this up for you. I even rebooted my router this morning. Sorry, guys. I don't know why we're having problems.
Yesterday, I dropped a video describing Christians as little demons who don't argue my points about their hate faith, but rather just attack me, spitting their vile hate at the truths I expose. Well, literally, while I was editing and getting ready to upload my video, a good, holy Christian, a self-proclaimed pastor, no less, dropped a response video to my morning show and proved my every point correct. Exactly what you'd expect from a Christian. A follower of the evil God monster of Abraham. I come to bring knowledge and understanding of what hideousness their faith is, and how hideous their actions are, and how ugly their God is. And here I am. But the serpent isn't of darkness. The serpent is of the light. Love, peace, mercy. The only people I talk bad about Christians because of their hate. There is no hate like what? You say it for me, kids. Say it in the audience. There's no hate like what? Christian love. Because they act exactly like you would expect followers of an evil God monster when they read its book of death. You remember the little demons in Constantine? The little demons that you'd see in the mirrors, and they'd get all f***ed up with themselves, looking at each other and stuff, looking at themselves. You remember those guys? Christians. Those are Christians. Imagine that you're sitting there exposing the truth, and, you know, they try to be cool, but you start exposing the truth about what their evil God monster is, and that's how they start acting. And they start just hissing and spitting at you.
Morning atheist, you're a liar. Complete liar.
My videos are based on the Bible. I take scriptures and I read them and I go, look at this. But I'm just like, look at it. Look at what's here. And... most of the time, I'm talking a good solid most of the time, they don't even bother arguing my points.
Everything that you say about the Christians is a lie. You're a coward. You're a coward, yellow-bellied, good for nothing. Nothing.
On the facade, they're like, oh, we're peaceful, we're loving, and we're mercy, right? But the instant that you pry them beyond that, they become these vile, hideous creatures that start wishing horrible things, the worst of things, on the best of people for the simplest of slights.
Oh, I've done all these things. I've done all these things. Oh, I've done all these things. I've done all these things. You've done nothing. Nothing, you gray-haired bum.
And they just spit like little demons. I want to pause here to applaud him on his editing skills, or lack thereof. His message and word clearly weren't worth taking a few moments to figure out iMovie so he doesn't show us his ass for a quarter of the video. I started to put little fart clouds here, but my wife said it would be childish, and I couldn't agree more. Christians, create a response video to me or my show and tag me at the damn show, and I might roast you in one of my videos. Now, on with the Christian hate. He's almost done.
Bomb.
And they just spit like little demons. Thank you, hateful Christian, for proving my every point correct. Thanks to people like you, my videos exposing the hateful nature of your religion practically write themselves. Don't forget to subscribe, people, lest you be eternally damned to lesser YouTube channels. Thank you, and take care.
Okay, so there we have it. That's kind of part of the, that's my deal. I don't directly now, if you did catch me during right after the election, I said some hateful, ugly things about the Christians that I don't normally say, whether I believe those things or not. Oh, I want to say hello to new people in the chat. I saw a new person in the chat just a moment ago. Nicole Spartan 458 says, you are right. The Christians are the human demons, and they call us the demons when we are trying to love and free people from indoctrination. Exactly correct. And that's what I'm trying to talk to. I was talking to Macaulay about it. And so back to Macaulay before I forget. If you're still there, I appreciate that you reached out. I believe I answered your question. You have a clarifying question. I have not given time to thoroughly go over that question and give you a response. I'll try to. I got a lot to do. And as you saw, I do, as I saw from you, and I should, because you put in the time to respond. But then before long, I'm trapped and I'm sitting at my desk responding to all these people who I refuse to debate with in the chat. So they figure, well, if they send me a Facebook message, I'll sit and I'll debate with them and argue with them and all that. You know what I mean? It's like a never ending thing. So I appreciate you, and I do appreciate your question. Thank you. Let me see what else is going on. You people are wonderful. If you haven't noticed, guys, I am finally got monetized again. I ran the channel. I was monetized. It took us damn near a year. It took forever. Finally got monetized again. I woke up this morning to a message saying, yeah, you can have super chats and memberships. I should make that a category. Be a membership. But here's what I'm going to do for my memberships, guys. Okay. I haven't done it yet. But whenever you become a member, do you remember the soul swords? Okay, for those of you who are new to the channel, let me tell you about the soul swords. This is an idea I had a while back. I'm going to sell soul swords. I'm not going to sell them. I'm just going to create them. We don't sell them. As a membership, you will get a soul sword. What the deal is, whenever you pass from this heavenly plane or earthly plane and go on to the next, when you arrive, if you are a level 1 subscriber, you will get a soul sword. I will personally talk to the Archangel Michael, and he will craft this sword for you, and you'll get his little icon as a level 1 subscriber on my channel. You can't prove I didn't, and you can't prove that's not where it came from. So, carrying on. Then, as the subscriber levels tiers go up, then you will get more holy, godly armor. Because, when the end comes and you, a Christian, gets raised up and, you're called to slay the non-believers, man, woman, and child in their crib, you're going to want a nice, shiny, holy soul sword. Am I right or am I right? You don't want to go with some rusty old, lawnmower blade with, duct tape wrapped around one end of it for a handle, do you? No. You want a shiny, glorious soul sword. I can get you that. And again, as the levels increase, we'll start with a helm, and then maybe a chest plate, and then the further up you go, you get a whole full set of armor, and, that's what you get as part of your membership. Now, here's the catch, my friends. This is actually satisfaction guaranteed. Okay, so what I will do, and I've discussed this, I discussed it back in a book I had a long time ago, I will put a bell on the wall, like a little swing bell, and after you pass, you have 24, let's do 1 hour. 1 hour is enough to know if you'd be satisfied. You have 1 hour after you pass to examine your sword and see if you're happy with it. And if you're not happy with your soul sword, ring that bell and I'll give you your money back. And it doesn't matter how you ring the bell. It can be like an earthquake, anything. A strong wind come along and rock the house and it rings that bell, I'll give you your money back. Because that could be considered an act of God, right? So, yeah. What do you guys think? Is that a good idea? Let me look at the chat and see how much hate I'm getting. Cows are cooler than humans. I don't know where my chat went wrong. What's wrong with you people? Cows are cooler than humans. How do you mean cool? You mean like hip? Or temperature-wise? That's a tough call. You know, you've seen those people on those like nature shows where they stick their arm up like a cow's whatever behind or something. I never see them say, ooh, chilly. Oh, 86.4. I'm funny. Just ask me. You know, you guys got something going on there in the chat that's fantastic. Greg S. says, people are absolutely free to say what they please. That's their right. But the response they get to what they say, yeah. See, you can say whatever you want. But there could be repercussions to what you say. Now, some people say, like, the First Amendment provides free speech, and there are no laws against that. But technically, yeah. You cannot scream fire in a theater. It's against your free speech, unless there's a fire, obviously. Obviously, but you know, I mean, and there's reasons why. Why is that? Because other people have been hurt and or killed when people have done that, despite there not being a fire. So somebody gets an idea to just stand up and yell fire in a theater, and that impulsive action caused another person to become unalive. A father to lose his wife, a mother to lose her son because of an impulse. So verbal rights do have their limits. You know, I'm just saying. Now, Giles says it was hot. Now, see, are you talking like temperature hot? Or are you talking like perversion hot? How do you mean, Giles? Are you like, oh, he's talking about that cow? I need to ask these questions. Has Chris never birthed the calf? Is it just because I'm from the Midwest? No, I've never heard. What's wrong, baby? Are you okay? Is Papa getting too loud? I'm sorry. It's okay. It's okay. We're just talking about stuff. It's okay. Come here, Papa. Come here. It's okay. I know. Papa sometimes gets excited on the show, and Daisy's like. And now Sadie's here too. What'd y'all get into? So my sound operator and my camera operator are both here at the same time. Come here, baby. For you guys who are new to the show, Sadie, my wonderful puppy dog. So what'd y'all get into? Does Ollie need help? Bark twice if Ollie's trapped in a well. Okay, guys, let me do this. All right, guys, you know what? It has been the hour. I thank you very much for joining us. I've got subscribers. Thank you very much to Left-Handed Jedi for passing out all those subscriptions. I got to go take some time and figure out what all that means. I got to learn. I've been so busy over the past little bit developing and trying to grow the channel that now the channel's at a place. You got out of the well? So good. That was wonderful. I know. Ollie got out of the well. All right, guys, I am off to save the world. Thank you all for joining me today. Wonderful, wonderul audience. Again, I enjoy the engagement. Sorry if I, again, I come off kind of rough, especially whenever I feel like people are challenging my voice to resist being oppressed. I get a little jerkish. So you guys have a great day. I will see you tomorrow.
Hey there. I'm Chris Mallard, the host of the Daily Atheist Morning Show, your go-to live stream for critical thinking, discussions on religion, and long-form videos debunking the Bible and the God of the Bible. I also cover political topics from the perspective of the atheist left, because so many Christians are teaming up with the political right to impose their religious dogmas on the rest of us. But I don't do it alone. I have an amazing, hardworking staff here behind the scenes. Meet Sadie, our trusted camera operator, doing her best to always keep me in focus. Bailey is our script supervisor, and trust me, nothing gets past her, and she's very judgmental. Captain Jack handles the lighting. He's scared of his own shadow, so he likes it nice and bright in here. Daisy is our audio expert. It's a constant struggle to filter out the sound of Sadie snoring during the live streams, but Daisy does the best she can. And finally, Ollie keeps the tech running smoothly when he's not chasing squirrels online. But even with all this talent behind the scenes, running the damn show takes a lot of time, effort, and dog treats. By supporting me on Patreon, you're not just helping me keep the show running, you're also helping me continue to produce thoughtful, critical content that challenges religion and the Bible. And let's be honest, you're also keeping these 5 behind-the-scenes pros in kibble. Trust me, they're worth it. And it ain't cheap. With your support, I can dedicate more time to creating better content, researching, and expanding the channel, all while paying my hardworking team in belly rubs and pup cups. Whether you can give a little or a lot, every bit helps us grow and keeps the conversation going. Thanks for considering joining our Patreon community. My team and I appreciate you. Remember to adopt